Hello, everybody, and welcome to what I think is episode 8 of League of Legends podcast. I am joined here today by Dora,
Anthony Kowalski,
Adam Barnaby,
and Jordan Augusta. I don't think we've ever done intros in this podcast.
Yeah,
I can't tell which one of you. I can't tell which. Like, I can see you, which order people are in on my screen, but I don't know if that's what the
we
order
might
is
be in
on your
different
screen.
spots.
That's what I was.
That's my fault. I
Mine-
should have called somebody out.
my name's Anthony Kowalski, and I'm still looking for a quarterback.
And I'm
You
still
did
looking
drop
for a
your
running
one
back.
quarterback. It's a bold move, Anthony, having no quarterbacks on your roster as of right now.
I'm going for the zero quarterback strategy.
All I need is a running
new
back, and
strategy
Tom
I'm
Brady's
developing.
yours.
Yep. I'm just going
Hey,
with.
he's not going to need a quarterback to beat me this week, though.
I'm going to see if I can try to
Stellar
start 5
roster.
running backs this week, and no quarterbacks. So we're going to see how that
5
goes.
running backs.
So how's everyone's week in fantasy football?
Man, if I lose, which I know I'm going to, I want to lose. I want the person who beat me to be the number one of that week, and that's what happened this week. The person who beat me was number one this week, and I can't be upset about that.
So I had a pretty good week. It was a little nerve-wracking. My team's at 5-2 right now, so pretty happy about that. I was saved by Baker Mayfield and Tyler Lockett. Lockett put up 53 points in his game, so I was pretty happy with that. It was one of those weeks where I wasn't sure how I was going to go because my starting quarterback, my starting tight end, my starting defense, and one of my receivers, I think, they were all on like bye weeks. So it's the week I was worried about, and then it turned out okay. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I lost on a last-minute Robert Woods fumble,
Oh,
and I also left about 120 points on my bench. So
Oh
that's
no!
it happened.
Yeah, I'm better off not putting up a good score because it seems like anytime I crack 120 points, I lose, and if I only put up like 90, then the guy I play has like 75. So maybe I should just tank it every week and go with that strategy.
I was going to say, like, I feel like I went to bed thinking you were Sunday night, like you had this in the bag, and woke up.
Yeah, they gave him an end
Whenever I
around,
woke
and
up
if he
Tuesday
takes it for
morning,
like 6
what?
yards, yeah, if Robert Woods takes that end around for 6 yards, then I win. But he instead throws it. It goes into the end zone, and Chicago picks it up. So that's like minus 2 points something, and I lose. So fantastic.
Well, that low scoring thing kind of reminded me what happened last week between Depression and Rager Bombs. AJ and that's Ben, right? The Rager
Yep.
Bombs. Rager Bombs had 69 points. Depression had 59 points.
Oh my!
Possibly the lowest scoring game I've ever seen in fantasy football.
Especially
I
in
think it
PPR.
is. Yeah.
Especially in
Tough to
PPR.
top that one.
Because I talked to AJ, I'm like, I needed you to win this week. How can you not beat 69 points? And he's like, Cam Newton, man.
I'm gonna get into it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
Yeah.
what
Cam
went
Newton
wrong
was
here in this
brutal.
lineup.
Ben had only 2 players score more than 10 points.
AJ lost.
That's a tough.
And he wins.
That's
That's-
a tough.
That you
He's got
stole
a donut,
a
a
win.
1.9.
I'm looking at it right now. He's got a negative 0.1.
Well, AJ does, yeah.
Negative 1 rush yards.
AJ's player.
Not even a fumble. He
couldn't
took
do
a
it.
knee.
He just
He
took
took a knee on the
Aaron Jones, 0.
He didn't play.
Chark,
Man.
DJ Chark Jr., which I've never heard of. I don't know why he would start him. It must have been a bad bye week
He's a
for
good
AJ.
receiver from
It's,
Jackson.
it's weird. All these
He's
players chip
inconsistent.
traded away are playing like garbage, and I'm not sure what's going on.
If you just put Carson Wentz in, but who would have put Carson Wentz in over Cam Newton?
No.
That's San Francisco defense.
Against San Fran? Yeah, maybe.
Don't underestimate the San Francisco defense. All right. Anything
Giant
else about
return.
last week? You guys want to jump into some of the news? Is there any? Jordan, you usually have some pretty big NFL news to bring. You got anything this week?
Detroit's defense got better. Dallas's defense sucks. Andy Dalton probably isn't playing this week, so that's something.
Or ever again.
Well,
Probably.
yeah.
I feel so bad. I was telling Anthony this at work because he wasn't on the podcast for it last week. When me and you basically told Chip, there's no way he'll be worse than what he was this week. It's a good idea to put him in. He can only go up from here. We did like 5 minutes on it, and he had arguably one of the worst performances that you would expect from an NFL quarterback.
Well, and that Dallas team is just falling apart. Their defense is horrible. They lost Dak, who was their leader. I don't even know the guy's name who's playing quarterback. I know they signed Cooper Rush to the practice squad today.
Ooh. Cooper
Fire
Rush.
Chips.
Yeah, fire up. I haven't heard that name in a while.
They traded away Everson Griffin to the Lions, who he's having an okay year. Helps the Lions out on the line. But the culture in Dallas is just one that you don't want. There's talks of Mike McCarthy being out after 1 year.
People are saying rebuilding. They're going to rebuild right now.
And the thing is, in that division, they don't need to rebuild, though.
Yeah.
They're probably still going to win the division, to be honest with you.
So that division's historically bad this year, and they can't seem to find a way to win a game.
But
like
Yeah,
quarterback, though, I mean,
Yeah.
even
One
that division,
injury.
you got to have somebody who's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Even before he was hurt, though, even before Dak went out, they weren't great.
No, they were saved by the offense in the second half of games, where Dak would just put up like 400 yards passing. And now they don't have Dak. And from the looks of it, they don't want to follow any other leader, because when Andy Dalton got hit last week, nobody stood up for him or anything. So that really speaks, the team's just giving up. And I hate to see that, because I have Ezekiel Elliott. Unless he gets 45 carries a game from now on, which he might.
I don't know, end up with 4 or 5 fumbles then.
Yeah, they're gonna
So
have 11 guys in the box every play. So I'm not sure how much he's gonna get out of those 40 carries.
With
Exactly.
that said, Tony Pollard is on the trading block.
I'm showing an article right now. NFL Hall of Famer Michael Irvin says the Cowboys may be the worst team in football. As Lions fans, does that make you guys feel good? Does that hype you up that you're not the worst team in football?
Well, we're not the Jets, so I mean.
I was gonna say massive disrespect to the Jets, who have worked very hard to be the worst team in football this year.
I can't wait until Trevor Lawrence is like, I'm going to stay at Clemson one more year.
Yeah.
They're gonna be right back there next year. You might as well just come out and tell him that he's not gonna play for him and make him trade him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw
And
that. They were recommending he do that. It's like, oh.
They're gonna have the first pick the next 5 years straight because they're total dumpster fires. So.
Here's my thing. I don't think Sam Darnold's the problem. I think Sam Darnold has the possibility to be a decent quarterback in the league. But with Adam Gase and that whole organization, there's no chance for anyone succeeding. If they find someone that's good and they trade him away immediately for like a 5th rounder.
It's hard to tell what he's got going there because they've been so bad that, I mean, he doesn't have a line. He doesn't have anybody to throw to. The team's just, how do you even assess? He has a game where he looks like he has some idea what's going on, but then it's the Jets, so he falls apart and throws 5 picks.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's hard to. If I were a team who needed a quarterback, I would probably take a look at him anyway if you could get him for cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in some ways, you think, oh, he makes his wide receivers look okay, but Robbie Anderson was nothing with the Jets, and now all of a sudden, he's playing decent this year.
Well, that's a theme. If anyone leaves Adam Gase, they play better immediately. So, I don't know. I have a few philosophies in fantasy football. One is don't take anyone from the Jaguars. 2, which can kind of bite me, but 2 is don't take anyone from the Jets. I just won't. I refuse, especially this year. That's just 2 offenses that I don't trust to be consistent at all.
Running backs with Denver.
I mean, yeah, and I still have Philip Lindsay on my
running. Well, but you got him at good value. You didn't draft him in the 3rd round like I did with.
Is he ever going to serve that suspension for the DUI?
I don't think so.
I haven't heard anything about
I don't think
that.
they're hitting him with one.
I don't think so either. So that kind of.
Which is weird because the last time somebody did it,
they haven't ruled it out.
They got 3 games. Maybe they'll do it later in the season.
I don't think they've ruled it out. I think it still might come down later.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver's not going to win. They're not going to make it to the playoffs, I don't think. Not this year. Even though I like Drew Lock, that division's just too good. Because you got Herbert coming up, too. And then the Raiders look decent, and then you got the Chiefs. So, Herbert might be the biggest steal, whoever got him, because I feel like he is going to put up big numbers the rest of the year.
Herbert was a free agent pickup, I believe. Right, Adam?
Yes, he was.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, kudos to you because I
Herbert's-
was, yeah.
I got to
Smart.
decide next year between Watson in like the 9th and Herbert in the 17th. So
Dang.
I will. I mean, I'm sure I will be entertaining some trade offers at some point,
Well.
whether it be this season or in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
So
Anthony,
Oh,
Tom
shoot.
Brady is raring and ready to go when you want
See,
him.
here's the thing. Everyone's got quarterbacks, but no one wants, like, I can't get a good price for a quarterback. Like, I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do if I can get a discount because everyone's got quarterbacks. Because everyone's got multiple quarterbacks.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling
I
you,
too.
the first available quarterback right now, please hold 1 second, and I will find him.
Is it Fitzpatrick?
Garoppolo's available.
Well, Fitzpatrick.
Tannehill's not even out there, right? It's somebody
No,
worse than
Tannehill's
Tannehill.
not. And I've had
Garoppolo's on
talks-
the free agency wire. He's the
Yeah.
number 1 ranked. And then Phil Rivers, Kirk Cousins, and Nick Foles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Cousin. Yeah, it's deep. I was. So here's some other news that came out today. Injury news. This is breaking, big news, massive news. Gardner Minshew has multiple fractures in his throat,
Holy shit!
and apparently he's had it for a few weeks.
Oh my! Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
That's
That makes
ridiculous.
I guess it kind of like he can't really feel much in his hand because apparently when he was in college, to get on a medical red shirt, he took a hammer to his hand.
Holy shit!
I was reading that today, so he may just not have felt it.
Doesn't
Yeah.
It
shock
wasn't
me
like
that Gardner
cheating at a
Minshew-
casino and they took him in the back and
Yeah, like that.
Or
But he
wasn't-
did it to himself.
That's my quarterback.
That's
I had
dedication
never heard that
right
story.
there.
I mean,
I was just reading it today on
Look at this guy.
on Reddit, so it's got to be true.
I could see this guy
Obviously.
taking a hammer to his hand.
Anthony, I
I
heard
mean, you
weren't
could tell me
too-
literally any story about Gardner Minshew and I would believe it.
I think
Look
I
at this
agree with
guy.
that.
Look at his mustache.
Look at this guy.
You can't. You've lived if you have a mustache like that.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Chip was telling me that you weren't too happy when I accepted his trade that he wanted Drew Brees. He said that you texted him or something like that.
I wasn't upset. I was just like, really? Like that's all you got for him? I would have given you something more than that.
So my philosophy on that is I was never going to start Drew Brees, ever, because I have Lamar Jackson and I got Baker Mayfield, and just recently Baker Mayfield put up 30 points for me last week, and Odell Beckham Jr. is now out probably for like the rest of the year and probably a little bit of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield is like so much better without OBJ on the field. It's
So let's just put it
ridiculous.
this way: you probably would have got David Montgomery from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
So that's okay.
That's
It's-
fantasy
it is what
football,
it is.
baby.
That's fantasy football.
I was just banking on Adam Jones probably being out throughout the year a little bit more. So
Oh, yeah. No, there's a
yeah.
possibility. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry,
Anyway.
Aaron Jones, not Adam Jones, the baseball player.
So now I got to trade with Adam. It's going to cost me more.
Or a trade for Tom
I mean,
Brady.
you know,
that'll
we'll
cost
make
you very
something-
little.
I'm just.
We'll
kidding.
make something work.
I'm just kidding.
We'll
We'll
find
figure it
something.
out. I don't want to. So, Adam, you care to tell us about your kind of your theory on fantasy football, how you approach, the draft and the season as it goes?
Yeah, sure. So usually, I like to have some idea going into the draft of what I'm going to do, and I like to. Normally, I like to try to go running back heavy, because I know how hard it is, especially in this league, to get running backs, and I like to get the running backs that are going to get to get a lot of targets. So the guys that I was looking at in the back end of the first round this year were not there. So I was left with the option of either taking some running backs that I didn't really like at the time, which it turns out would have been much better than what I ended up doing, or I could try to just lock out elite wide receiver and just spam the hell out of the running back position the rest of the way. So that was going to be my strategy. And then before I picked again, every single running back in the entire league got taken. And so that blew up my whole. I thought somebody was going to drop. I thought there was going to be a Melvin Gordon or a Todd Gurley that I could get but there was just nothing left. So that threw me for a loop. So then instead of something else I always like to try to do is I like to have some, especially with big benches, I like to have at least 1 or 2 lottery tickets.
Yep.
Guys that might be a league winner if the guy in front of him gets hurt. So instead of 1 or 2 this year, I ended up with like 6.
Whoa.
Um,
This is a good
And,
year for that, though. In all honesty, like if there's going to be a year with crazy injuries, this is the year.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, well, that brings me to the next part of my strategy, whereas I like to. You guys can tell I'm very aggressive on the waivers. Trying to find the lottery tickets to win in a particular week.
Mhm.
And the problem that I've been having is that I've been able to identify several of these guys and even pick them up. The problem is that I either don't wait long enough, or I pick the wrong guy, or I bail on them the week before they blow up. I drafted Devontae Freeman, and I dropped him like 3 days before the Giants picked him up. I dropped him for Justin Jackson, and then I didn't hang on to him long enough either.
Freeman will most
so-
likely be on the waiver wire again very shortly, by the way. So
Well, there you go.
That's one of the. I was kind of glad. I was glad when the Giants were the ones that picked him up, because I was like, man, if he goes somewhere like KC or somewhere where he's actually going to burn it, I'm going to be really mad that I dropped him. But I was glad actually that it was the Giants, because I'm like, they're so bad that it's unlikely he's going to be like a RB1 or anything like that. So, I was in that position where I had to make that trade with Chip. And I didn't
We
really
all
want to
have.
make that trade.
We all know
It
how
was
you
basically
felt.
I ended up. It was I traded Julio and whatever bench garbage I could get him to accept for I got David Johnson and Antonio Gibson off of him at a time when it looked like Julio was going to be dinged up all year, which next week he still might look like he might go back to looking like he's dinged up all year. But I figured I had absolutely nobody at running back, and I had to make that. I had to cut off my foot so that I could have 2 hands. So
I didn't do.
That trade, I felt pretty neutral about it when you made it. Like I thought that was a pretty balanced trade. I still feel that way. I still feel like you both got pretty good value out of that, especially with your need at running back and how great it was.
yeah,
You
and
got 2
Gibson
starters
turned
out
out-
of it.
Gibson
I
turned out
think
pretty well this year.
Gibson. Well, he seems like he's. If they can ever figure that offense out, I felt like he was the one guy that I really wanted to get. Maybe down the road, he might have a good stretch run because he seems like he's really good. It's too bad he's stuck in Washington, but we'll see how it goes. I didn't have a whole lot of choice on that one. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I was telling Anthony I have a last week depression-esque or depression versus Rager bombs-esque lineup coming up for my matchup with him this week, because I've got
Adam's got what, 6 guys on bye?
yeah I'm currently projected to start James White and LaMichael Pirine as my starting running backs, and I'm rolling with
no.
two tight ends in my tight end and my flex, and neither one of them are really worth starting.
He's got 6 guys
So-
on bye. 5 of them are starting.
Wow. That's
So,
yeah, that's
maybe
just unlucky.
maybe Christian Kirk could be a flex too, and you could say 6 starters. But there's a solid Watson, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Gibson, and Hopkins.
Wow.
So I'm a little
And
banged up
Hopkins,
this week.
He's got a whole fantasy squad on bye.
I am. I picked up Tevin Coleman in the hopes that maybe they activate him, and I have some reason to not start. I don't know who I would even bump out at this point. Get one of these garbage players out of my lineup, and maybe Coleman can be the guy that falls over the goal line 3 times for the Niners this week. So that's that's basically my only hope for winning this week is, or if New England throws 16 times to James White for 40 yards, that could be a winning play also.
Who's New
So
England
yeah, that's
playing?
my. They're playing no, they're playing Buffalo, so probably not gonna happen. So yeah, I'm usually not. This is an abnormal year for me because the draft really caught me off guard, and
Part of that too, though, is you were in that last spot. That's a really tough. I mean, I remember that. That was me last year, and that was I pretty much had to reach every pick or every other pick I was reaching because I knew, I had to get who I wanted, or else I was never going to get him. So it's a really tough spot to draft from. You've really got to have a lot of luck and hope players fall.
Yeah, I'm in a position where I either need multiple lottery tickets to go off here, or I need to hope that I win the toilet bowl so that I can be good next year. Is what is basically what I'm looking at right now.
No,
if I'd been able to win this week, if I'd been able to beat Chip this past week, I'd be sitting at 4-3, and I would feel like this week is an almost certain loss, so I'd be 4-4, but at least I'm still in the mix. Figure if I drop to 3-5, it's going to be tough.
That's the thing. Your division is very close. You're only one game out of first place. Chip's right now at 4-3. He's first place in that division. You're 3-4, right? So,
yeah.
So pretty close. Anything could happen. I'm terrified of my division because 4 people are at 5-2.
Yeah.
So if somebody stumbles, that's gonna really throw things off. That's why I told Jeremy and AJ that I needed wins last week, and they could not deliver.
I've tried 7 times and I failed 7 times in a row.
I can't believe AJ lost that game. It's tough though, yeah. I mean, because you're in that position where do you even try to win this week, or just hope for the best?
I've tried to win every single week. I'm not throwing here.
You really got to try to win.
I'm not trying to get a lottery pick. Yeah,
we actually kicked teams out of the league that go 0-13, so just keep
that sucks. Oops. I'll get one. I'll get lucky once. I just need to get lucky once. I almost got lucky 2 weeks ago. I lost by 2 points or something like that.
Jeremy, your team is going to get hot just in time.
Just coast into the playoffs.
Bowl, and then on the last game, the toilet bowl, they're all going to lay eggs. That's what's gonna happen. Sorry, bud.
I hope not.
Yeah, you and I don't play this year, so you're not going to be able to. That's not going to bail you out.
I think that the game that the game that I could have won was against you, Anthony, where I lost by 2 points, and that's when we were both 0-4 or 0-3 or something like that.
That's right. You put up a crazy number too. We both put up big numbers.
I put up 151. You put up 153. So yeah, that was we were the first and second highest. And then, oh my gosh, looking back at these week scores makes me sick.
It is crazy because Jeremy is the only person in the league with over 1,000 points against him. So
we'll see.
Just one of those years.
We'll see. Who am I playing this week? Who should I be? Okay, Rager Bombs.
I need you to win this one, Jeremy.
I think they're the highest scoring team in the league. It's not supposed to be terrible, and he's going up against a lot of good defenses.
Jeremy, they're one of the 5-2 teams, so I really need you to do something.
Yeah, week. I mean, I'll try.
The second division, we're really going to start seeing who's for real and who's not. I feel like pretty soon, because there's no way this keeps up with people going 4 teams with 5-2.
And then
you can't, because we
have to start playing each other too. So
yeah. I'm just looking at the non-division. Don't really spell it out too much, but it looks like it's pretty well balanced, actually. The divisions as far as the non-division records. Mm-hmm. I'd have to run the numbers because they don't show it on the standings, but it looks like it's pretty close. So, do we want to go through the matchups real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So,
since we're already in War Crimes for Dimes against Rager Bombs, why don't we start there?
Okay, we got me predicted 102 against 125. See, if you look at my team, I missed my opportunity to, like you said, cut my foot off to save my leg. I missed it too early. I just don't have running back weapons that can consistently put up double digits. Like Dion Lewis is just garbage.
You need to replace Dion Lewis.
I've basically been switching between garbage, 2 or 3 garbage running backs. Mark.
All right, hold on. We're just gonna help you here on the fly.
You need to move Odell Beckham to your IR spots too, because they're taking up a roster spot right now.
Yeah.
So that does suck that Odell Beckham's out, but
yeah, he was the thing keeping me competitive. He was my best wide receiver, and now I'm going to be starting. I'm going to be switching between like Golden Tate and other people, Curtis Samuel. So yeah, that really sucks. Having three players that like having a player that has 1% and 9% start percentage on my roster is disgusting.
So
Go
there's
ahead.
a couple. I'm just looking at the free agents right now. Let's see if we can help Jeremy out a little bit with running backs. Malcolm Brown for the Rams. He's not the starter, but he's had some good weeks, some not so good weeks. He might be worth a bench stash if you got room, Jeremy.
I got room.
Burkhead too. Burkhead, he finds the end zone. I feel like that one week
Yeah.
he scored 3 times.
Yeah, I'll take a look at him.
I had considered rolling a James White, Rex Burkhead trifecta as my running backs, figuring that it's no worse than what I'm going to end up running this week. So that was a consideration that I had before I went with P Ryan over him. But yeah, I mean he's just as good. He's got 20-30 point games on his resume. You just never know when they're going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's that part of that New England offense too, where there's not really one guy who's going to stand out most of the time. It's a community effort, or one guy's going to have a big week one week, and then Bill Belichick's like, no, we're going to make this guy have a big week. So you never know with that New England offense.
You know, another guy that no one's really given him much credence to, but he's been getting some carries is Frank Gore. I mean, he's like older than me, but
I mean, he's the only player on the Jets team, right?
well, he's got is it Perrine? Is that his name, Adam?
Oh yeah.
The young guy?
I think they call it P Ryan. I think it's
P Ryan.
I don't know.
P Ryan.
Yeah.
That's
My dart throw now is that they just decide to glue Frank Gore to the bench and give the rookie a bunch of, or maybe they're down 40 points, so they're dinking and dunking to the running back the whole game, and maybe I can squeeze out some points that way. But
well, that's someone too, Jeremy. If you're looking for someone on your bench, Frank Gore, he's getting 10 rushing attempts a game. So
yeah, I'm looking at
fun with it, but it's something.
I'm looking at Burkhead, Brown, and Frank Gore, and I kind of have my pick of the ball.
There's not much else out there.
Yeah.
It's a little thin. One guy that could be decent, depending, is Brian Hill for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one of those kind of lotto guys that if Gurley goes down,
yeah,
just like he did in the end zone last week.
Very well. I was so glad watching that. You have no idea how happy I was that he scored that.
He got yelled at by Matt Ryan yelled at him.
Touchdown, and then the Lions going down, getting the Galladay down on the 9 or the 8, which turned out to be the 11, and then he hiked the ball and the running back fell on his face, but they didn't roll the clock off because they stopped.
They were reviewing it. Yeah, I don't.
It was a mess, but
then the Lions got penalized and had to kick a 48-yard extra point.
Yeah.
Which again, that's the most Lions thing ever, especially if they would have lost that way. But 3-3.
I can't believe they didn't get popped with another runoff. That seemed like.
I think the only thing that saved them is they stopped the clock to review the play.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that saved it. Otherwise, it would have been a penalty. I don't know, because isn't that what? Didn't
the Falcons guy
knocked
him?
It was a review last time.
Him over. So I think one of the things was people would have argued that it was technically offsides because if all the Lions were set and then the Falcons guy knocked him over, which is why I think that wouldn't have necessarily caused a big problem. But refs hate the Lions anyways. But we got to get a call every now and then, right?
Yeah, first one in 10 years.
I mean, it's been 60 years and they haven't had one, so I don't know why you expect them to get one now.
Hey, 3-3, I'll take it. 10-6, playoff win, book it.
Take the under. Yeah, this is a particularly rough week for those of us who needed a fill in on running backs, because I'm looking at now and a couple of the situations where you got a guy injured, maybe you pick the guy up. The Giants had you know what Freeman's gonna do, and Gallman's out there, and then Seattle, you don't know what's gonna happen there, and it could be one of these guys that's out there. Might be.
Hyde got picked up. I think Chip.
Yeah, but he's dinged up too, though. He might not play.
Is he? I didn't know that.
But the problem with that is that they're playing the two best defenses in the league. So
Exactly.
Like, oh, you can take a dart throw on one of these guys that hasn't been doing anything. Just they might get an opportunity, but it's an opportunity to run right into the teeth of a good defense. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's one of those things that I've been looking at more and more recently is like the matchup who they're playing. For example, I have Fulgham, the rookie wide receiver for the Eagles, playing against Dallas this week, and I'm debating whether or not to put in him or Justin Jefferson. And Justin Jefferson's playing against Green Bay, so Dallas's defense is horrible. Jefferson's one of those guys that can go off though, so that's one of the things I'm struggling with this week. It's a good problem to have because they're two good wide receivers. Um, But yeah, you gotta look at the matchups too, not just name value.
Yep.
Do we want to keep going through the matchups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's jump on the next one.
Who do we got next? Number 1 bench, no pain since March. Did you guys go over yours?
We have not yet.
Okay. I thought maybe
Other
at the
than
beginning we covered that.
It's it's an interesting. Hey, I do want to do a shout out to AJ. Big thank you to him for dropping Deontay Johnson with his
I saw
trade with Chip.
Yeah.
I jumped out of my skin when I saw that because I've wanted Deontay Johnson since week 2 before he got hurt.
He's a baller.
So I was very, very happy, very appreciative of that one.
That's another offense. It's tough to tell where the targets are going to go from week to week.
It is. When Johnson's been healthy, he's been the guy, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I wanted Claypool back when Claypool went off for like 4 touchdowns. But ever since then, he has kind of struggled. So
yeah, Nick dropped him just before that week, and then he dropped what $40 or $30 to pick him back up, and then he hasn't done anything. So I felt bad for Nick there. No, I think we did kind of talk, I guess, about this. Adam's got a really tough week because he's got so many guys on bye.
Yeah, I'm projected to
he's got
lose
a really
against a
good
team with no quarterback, so that's not a good start.
Well, that probably will change before the weekend. We'll see. That's true. Do you want to trade a quarterback to the guy you're playing this week?
Well, that's what I was saying. I would be absolutely shocked if I'm even competitive this week, so I'm not ruling it out.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't be opposed to trading a quarterback to you for a guy who's not even playing this week. All right, we had all options are on the table. All right, that's what I'm saying.
All I got on bye this week is Chase Edmonds, and I don't think you're going to take Chase Edmonds for Watson. So we'll see.
Watson,
We'll do this offline afterwards.
Yeah, we can. I'm sure there's some we can do. But yeah, anyway, before we get to that, yeah, I get queasy looking at this matchup because my team is so bad this week, and it wasn't that good before. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's some start. You got a lot of solid guys though that are on bye. That hurts. I think we talked about this last week a little bit. Like that is one strategy with the buys. A lot of people try to spread them out, but the other strategy is kind of do what Adam did and just make it all just lose 1 week.
yeah, and that
wasn't even a strategy. That ended up the 2 guys I could get off a chip both had the same bye week, and I'm like I can't complain. I can't. Now it's the strategy. I just gotta roll with it. So
we'll see. It's when I throw a quarterback in, that will help a lot with the projection. But we'll just have to see.
next matchup.
Yep. I'm showing Empire Strikes Dak against Busted Lip.
Let's see. What's Chip got going this week? Because I always like looking at Chip's roster because I feel like it's different every time I look at it.
So right now, Busted Lip is actually projected to win by 4 points.
Okay.
And no one's got anyone on bye.
they've got Boston Scott's projection at Miles
6
Sanders'
points.
starting levels. Is Sanders in or is Sanders out? Do we know?
I can figure that out real quick.
I think Sanders.
He's on Chip's. Chip's got
Chip
him on his
has it,
bench,
doesn't
so yeah. So either way, he's going to
He
get
hasn't-
an extra 10 points out of that.
Yeah,
slot,
I would say Sanders hasn't practiced yet. So it's possible he's out again this week. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Even if he's out, Boston Scott's a really good backup. Chip and I talked about that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Last year when Sanders was out, Scott put up big numbers for a few weeks. So I think he'll be just fine.
I think the real X factor for Chip is Young Hoku. I know he didn't get him on draft night. I'm glad Chip finally got him. Um,
I feel like
So,
it
yeah.
really completes his team.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be on the trade block anytime soon. No, I think it's going to be a good matchup though. Because Chip's got some great wide receivers, but so does the other team. T.Y. Hilton might go off against the Lions. Our secondary is not great when Jeff Okuda is our CB1. Um, and then it's a solid team on both sides, I feel like.
Now he's got Cook coming back this week. Brendan does.
Yep.
So he's got Cook and Gurley as his two running backs. Gurley's been a lot more solid this year than I anticipated. I was not super happy, excited about that pick when he drafted him, but he's been pretty good.
Yeah.
So
No, I think it's going to be a good matchup this week. I think it's going
Yep.
to be closer than people probably think.
yeah, I like Waller. He's got Waller and Gronk, so he's in pretty good shape with tight end.
And Slayton's a pretty good option at flex, to be honest. He could be a wide receiver 2 on a lot of teams. So
Yeah.
I feel like Slayton, as long as Daniel Jones is throwing the ball and not giving it to Freeman, Slayton's going to score points. So
What happened to John Brown?
John Brown.
He's got John Brown on his bench. He was good last year, and then he had 2 big weeks to start the year, and then he's just totally fell off the map.
well, I feel like
Uh,
Stephon Diggs is
I
automatically.
was going to say 2 words. Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Diggs was there week 1 and week 2 though, and Brown still was. He put up almost 20 points both weeks, so that's.
Well, you know what the other thing is though is that
I guess
and you
Beasley.
and I were talking about just before this is quarterback play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
Josh
was really
Allen.
good the first couple weeks, and then it's really gone down. So
he's
Yeah,
been
Buffalo's
checking
been
into
kinda struggling.
Beasley a lot now.
yeah, that's true. Beasley didn't play the first couple weeks, did he?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
You guys know Cole Beasley has a rap career? Fun fact.
All right, so our next.
I'll take your word for it.
Moving on to the next matchup.
Got Juice
We got-
versus Depression. Jordan, how you feeling coming in?
I'm confident this week. I'm struggling, like I said earlier, I was struggling with Fulgham and Jefferson. Also struggling with Mayfield and Jackson, as crazy as that sounds. Lamar Jackson doesn't play that well against the Steelers, to be honest with you. And that Steelers defense is insane right now, and the Steelers might be the best team in the league. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield obviously went off last week and is better without Odell Beckham Jr., as crazy as that sounds. And he's playing the Raiders, who don't have a great defense.
Raiders.
I don't know. Mike Evans has been kind of a dud for me too the past couple weeks. He has I think he's in the top 5 for most touchdowns scored this year, but 2 of those were on 2 yards a couple weeks ago.
So I had him last year, and even though like on paper his numbers he looked amazing, but when you looked week to week, it was like he's either up or he's down. It was so inconsistent.
And I think it's just a product of that offense because there's so many options to throw to, and he can never stay all the way healthy.
And there's about to be one more.
Exactly. Well, in
Yeah, he's only had
weeks, so.
two targets each of the last 2 weeks. That's not good.
Yeah, exactly. So Mike Evans, he's got a good matchup this week against the Giants. So, and I drafted him fairly high. I think I drafted him 2nd round, maybe. Which, looking back, probably shouldn't have done that.
The crazy thing is that Brady's in those past couple weeks has really started to look more like Brady.
Yeah, he looks like he's 30 years old again.
Yeah, like but he's spreading the ball out, and he's, you know what I mean. He's doing the Brady things that he used to do in New England.
Scotty
drove
Miller
everyone
paid.
insane.
Scotty Miller's going to get a big contract at the end of this year.
Yeah, Scott. I wonder what happens with Scotty Miller though after Antonio Brown starts this. Like, someone's got to lose.
Someone's got to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have the guys keep rolling in. Like Godwin's got a busted finger, so they're not going to have everybody together in the same spot, for a while yet.
Which begs the question: does it help the other receivers if one of them's out, because they're going to get more targets, or is it going to hurt them because the other team's going to focus on them and preventing them from getting touchdowns? So, I don't know. Mike Evans is one of those players who I feel like a couple weeks ago he had 2 touchdowns, but it was on 2 yards and 2 receptions. It was one of the craziest things I ever seen, and he got like 20 points because of it. But Mike Evans is one of those guys who could very easily lay up 0 points. AJ, on the other hand, he always jokes that he has the best worst team ever. He's not starting Cam Newton this week, so we'll see what happens. He has Sammy Watkins going. Kansas City, you never know who's getting the ball or if everyone's going to get the ball. So we'll see what happens. McKinnon's probably not going to score -1 points this week, especially because Mostert's out again. And if Aaron Jones plays, well, I don't know. It'll be interesting. He's running
I'm
two tight ends.
I'm not sure him or Watkins are going to play. They're both. Neither one of them practiced today.
Well, could be
Jones
good
and
for him.
Watkins were both out today. So.
Yeah, I'm always scared though against AJ because if something does happen, I'm never gonna hear the end of it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'll be rooting for AJ on Sunday.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Next one we got Lions Kool-Aiders against my dick in a box. I always feel dirty when I read that team name.
Fantastic team name.
Yep. We got a couple 4-3 teams going up against each other. Lions Kool-Aiders. So he's rolling with Josh Allen at quarterback. Again, we kind of talked about Josh Allen a little earlier. Started really strong and he struggled lately. So we'll have to see if that continues.
Well, his options are either Josh Allen or Matt Stafford, and the Colts' defense is fairly good, so Matt Stafford could struggle. So I mean, I would do the same thing.
He's got Burrow too. Burrow against he just against.
Well, I didn't see that.
Tennessee.
All these teams
Tennessee's
with
been
3
giving it
freaking quarterbacks.
Burrow throws for like tons of yards though.
Yeah.
So I might go with Burrow out of those 3. Although Allen, he gets the rushing touchdowns, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
What else?
We got two
He's running
5-2
with,
teams against each other.
Higgins and DJ Moore, wide receiver. Higgins has had a really good season. Kind of been a nice surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
Was the bane of my existence until I got rid of all my Cincinnati players. And now all of a sudden,
He's also running with DeAndre Swift, who has scored the past couple weeks. So Swift could see more playing time. I feel like I haven't seen Kerryon Johnson all year. It's been AP or DeAndre Swift. So
he made an appearance last week on that last play when he fell on his face.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, you're right. That was him. I should rephrase that. I haven't seen him get the ball at all this season. I don't know. DeAndre Swift could be another great piece for Detroit, which I feel like we haven't really had good fantasy players except for Kenny Galladay in the past couple years. So I'm excited for DeAndre Swift. Hopefully he does well. Especially because
I'm so mad. I was torn between Akers and DeAndre Swift, and I took Akers. Want.
When I saw Akers get dropped, I was like, maybe I can find room. And then I looked, and he hasn't had a carry in 2 weeks, and I went, I know why Adam dropped him.
I mean, one of the reasons I was holding on to him was like, if he pops, then he could be a keeper. But I got him in like the 4th round, so he doesn't even have good value there. So, whatever.
I really wanted him this year. Like I bought into all the Kool-Aid too, and I was like, I was silently cursing you when you drafted him, because that's what I do when you draft anyone.
I know. I should have left him there for you.
And now I can say thank you, Adam. You saved me from myself.
Yep. Much obliged.
Mike's got a pretty sneaky good team, though. When you look down that roster, like they're not the best out there, but pretty solid. And especially if Swift, picks things up the second half of the season, he's got a good team.
For sure.
Yeah, there's no holes in that roster.
No.
And then on the other side, my Ditka in the box, he has Metcalf, who is looking like a top wide receiver in the league this year.
Thank you.
And also a top defense player of the year so far. If you saw him chase down 90 yards when Buda Baker intercepted the ball, he chased him down 90 yards.
Wow. If you missed it live, they showed the replay 6 million times the rest of the game. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't watch the game.
Oh my God! It was like every 5 seconds. They're like, "Did you see this play from earlier?"
Did you know Matthew Stafford and Clayton Kershaw actually are friends from way back in the day?
They play baseball together.
I hear that about 40
idea.
times every time I turn the Lions on. I know the Lions are playing because I get a text from Jordan. Hey, did you know this fact about Matthew Stafford? Yes, Jordan. So when you text me this week, Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Well, Clayton
And he
Kershaw
went
did
to
win
the
the
same
World
high
Series.
school as Bobby Lane or whatever it was, right? That's the other one.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was
I think
supposed to.
he's
He was
had a
supposed to break
blessed
the
upbringing.
curse. He was supposed to break the curse because he went to Bobby Lane's high school, but nope, there is no breaking the curse.
No.
Not unless they really turn things around the rest of the year.
Nah, I think not unless the Fords just decide that. Well, until they realize that football isn't their thing, that's when the Lions can turn it around.
Nah, Sheila's
Yeah.
gonna get it going.
Sheila's not going to get
Yeah.
it going. The fact that you guys still have the head coach that you started the season with makes me believe that she is not going to get it going.
Yeah, the Fords are gonna have to sell, and they're gonna have to do like a virgin sacrifice, I think, to turn that thing over.
At
'cause
least
it's
one.
It's going to
At
Bezos.
least
strong.
one. Bezos.
Strong juju
Oh my
against
God,
the Lions,
If
going back
Bezos
to
bought
like
the
50s.
Lions. He should. Jeff Bezos should buy the Lions and then rename them the Alexas, and that would be a fitting fate for this football team.
Anyway, I think it's gonna be a good matchup between the Kool-Aiders and my Ditka in the box.
I say Mike
That's pretty
Ditka in the
close.
box. He's got a pretty good. I mean, you start looking at his roster as well. Like
They're
pretty
pretty
solid up and down. He's a little weak at quarterback, but I'm not really one to talk. But besides that, I mean, he's starting high, and I'm not quite sure why.
They're both.
Carson's. That's right.
Both
Carson's
these teams
hurt.
have injuries and bye problems going
Yeah.
on this week. So
No, if you put Chris Carson in there next to Jonathan Taylor, like that's a heck of a 1-2 punch for running back. So
yeah,
he's solid. Metcalf
and he's got
Diggs have been
Robinson in
great.
there too.
Yeah, that's
James
right.
Robinson's
James
there,
Robinson.
too.
Yeah, James Robinson might be the best of all three of them actually.
Ugh, I can't believe that's. Man, who the hell saw that coming?
Apparently, Horry did. He did draft him actually.
Yep.
He did, but he didn't. I mean, if he'd seen it coming,
the
he would have
last
drafted
pick,
him.
but he drafted-
Yeah, he would have drafted him before the 28th round or whatever it was. So.
So, if I had to pick right now, I can't even pick this. This is too close to call.
Mm-hmm. All right, next matchup.
Last we got Marine City Cubbies going up against the Refrigerator. Another close game.
These are two good teams. I feel like.
Finally,
Two
if
biased
2
projections.
5-2 teams going against each other.
Nope.
At least there will be one less 5-2 team at the end of this week, unless a miracle
me.
happens.
Yeah, both
5,
these
2, and
teams
1.
are pretty stacked. On Marine City Cubbies, you got Keenan Allen, who I think stands out because Herbert has just been insane. I feel like, and they're going against Denver, who's not great. And Keenan Allen, he has some crazy receptions, just in terms of numbers, I feel like. And then Adam Thielen, he's a top touchdown scorer in the league right now. Him and Justin Jefferson work very well in tandem, so I feel like he's gonna be pretty good. And then you got Patty Mahomes against the Jets, so they're gonna win like 65-0, unless they
Look at
pull
this.
Patty Mahomes to keep him healthy. That's the only thing I'd be worried about.
Donnie's been doing. When you look at like what he's got a solid team. And he's been doing all this without a second running back all season.
Yeah.
I mean, Dobbins is okay, but he's not great. And I feel like you start looking at his bench, Justin Jackson is probably his best number 2.
Right. I agree.
So,
Yeah,
boy,
Mahomes covers up a lot of warts.
he does well, and his wide receivers. I mean, he's got good wide receivers. Robbie Anderson that was a great pick.
He's probably the number 1 receiver in Carolina, and I feel like Teddy Bridgewater has been getting only better. So
Yeah.
On the
We're
other
thinking the problem in Carolina might have been Cam, not the offense, or not the receivers or anything else.
right.
Might have been
Cam
the
looked
problem.
great at the beginning of the season, and since that injury or since the COVID scare, it's
He can't throw.
it's really not great. So
On the other side, we got the Refrigerator, and see, his receivers I feel like are either home run hitters or they're not. You got Amari Cooper, and that Dallas Cowboys offense doesn't look great. Then Chase Claypool, who, like we said before, in Pittsburgh, you got to spread the ball around there. So I think his saving grace is Alvin Kamara, who you know is going to get touches and you know who's going to get receptions, especially in a PPR league that's big.
He's got Tyreek in the flex though. That's a
Yeah,
sneaky
it's true.
flex.
And then T.J. Hawkinson is Stafford's favorite target in the end zone. So I feel like, especially in the red zone this year.
Especially when there's 0 time left.
Exactly. So I think this is actually going to be a closer game. I don't know if I'd favor one team over the other. Maybe just I'd go with Yahoo predictions for Marine City Cubbies just because the fact that Amari Cooper and that Dallas offense could have like AJ throwing the ball at quarterback this week.
Yeah, Nick's team could blow up, but I feel like Donnie's team, Marine City's a lot more dependable.
Yeah, it's a more consistent team, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anything else this week, guys? All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being on the podcast. If anybody else watching would like to be on, message one of us, and we will find a way to do it. Thank you guys very much for watching.
All right, everyone. Have a good week.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Okay. Now we're stopping because I clicked the wrong button. Bye, guys.